Hey guys, what's up? Michael Moorcock has been making the Eternal Champion books since the late 60s, and over time there's been a lot of differences in the book covers that have been coming on for his novels and his writing and his books. And even though his books are really, really thin, and there's usually like 6 or 7 of them in one series, um, there really is a big difference between, some of the books that are really nicely illustrated and some of the books that kind of like are iffy sort of illustrated. So let me just show you some of the artwork that they put on the covers of some of the Eternal Champion series. This is the most newest thing. This is the newest release of the Elric saga, and there's got a bunch of it's got an Elric book in it, and it's got a bunch of other books in it. Elric books are about 200 pages long, but this thing is about more than that. It's like 300 something pages long or whatever it is. And it's got and this is basically Duke Elric, and it's got the story is the Chronicles of the Last Emperor of Melniboné, part 4, and then it's got one of the stories of the Elric saga in it. So what did I think of this? I think it's awesome. I really did. At first I was a little bit resistant to it because it's not exactly the same kind of drawing or painting that Michael Whelan did with his interpretation of Elric. But I started liking this, and I really do think this is better, especially when I go online now and I see a lot of people, just like average artists, who are drawing Elric. They're just fans of Elric. They like to draw, and they're painting their own versions of what Elric looks like. And this is one of them. This is Duke Elric. I don't know which book. There was a few of these books that just came out all at the same time, and I'm not sure which one it is. This is volume 4, right? And I think it's a really nice version of Elric. Here's another one. This one got a lot more popularity and praise. I think a lot of people liked this one, and I saw this one in a lot of other art books that had a lot of different people's art. And, I really do appreciate that this guy really is a fan of Elric, because he got the face right. He's got the sword right. The sword even has this eye, meaning the sword is conscious and intelligent and alive. So it has an eye so it can see, It's kind of cool and everything like that. I'm not sure who that is. That might be Zarozenia, or maybe one of or Simorel or something like that from the story. So that's pretty freaking cool. I think all of these covers this is To Rescue Tanalorn, and I think all of these covers were done by the same person, or I think maybe some of them were done by the same person and some of them were done by other people. But this is another one. This is pretty cool. They got Elric right in this. They've got a whole 3D thing going here. They got the sword, which is bigger than him. It is a large sword. It's in the story, it's a big sword. So they got that right. It's got the runes on it. It's a black sword. It's pretty freaking cool, man. And here's another one. And this one's pretty cool. Another one. I forgot the actual name of the artist that did this. I think he did this one and the second, this one. It looks like the same artist did that. You know what I mean? It looks kind of the same, but it's all right. I dig it. I mean, it's good. At least it's an illustration. It's not like they put some kind of logo or something on the thing. At least it's there. It's got Stormbringer, the eye version of Stormbringer. For some reason, people love doing Stormbringer that has an eye on it. I think it's from those video games, Soul Calibur. Was there one called Soul Calibur, where they were swords with eyes on them? I don't know. It's kind of cool putting an eye on a sword, especially where the hilt is. So that's pretty cool. So what I'm talking about having an illustration on the cover, no matter what that illustration is better than not having illustration. Because if you look at this one here, this is not really any kind of art. This is the Knight of Swords. This is the first book of Corum. Great book. You got to check it out. If you've read Elric, you got to read Corum. It's just another Eternal Champion, and he's just a different character, but there's a lot of similarities in it. Ariok, the Chaos God Ariok, is in it. There's a lot of different similarities. It's basically the same world, the same kind of character, but a different actual person with a different story. So it's pretty cool. But if you look at this one, there's just the glove and the eye, the hand and the eye, the magic hand, the magic eye that he got in the story. It doesn't show you anything. This is also recent. This is not the ones that came out before, because I'll show you the ones that came out in the 80s was this one. And this one came out before that one. I mean, how do you go from this This is the second trilogy of Corum. This is the sequel to the Swords trilogy, the Bull and the Ram, the Oaken Spear, whatever it is, you know. And it just shows it, like, it's all right there. Bull and the Spear, Oak and the Ram, Sword and the Stallion. And it's freaking good. It's just Corum on a horse. He's supposed to be wearing red. He's doing that in the cover. It's pretty good. I think this is a Michael Whelan one. I'm not exactly sure if this is Michael Whelan. Michael Whelan does some of the other ones. This is very, very good. And they went from this to this. And I have no idea. I don't even think, maybe it's a different publisher or something, but what makes them think this is better than this? This is a beautiful book. Like, I bought this book to read partly because of the cover. I mean, yeah, I wanted to read the Corum story because everyone was saying how great it is. But, God, it's a nice book. If you look at some of the old Elric ones, there's this. And now, I'm not a total huge fan of it. This was like the first, like, Elric book covers that I started reading. And it had this cover on it. And I think it's okay. Now, I know a lot of people like this one. I just think it's a little bit 2D, two-dimensional. It's not bad. It's a little bit flat. It's not like 3D. It's just symbolic more than like realistic. You know, the sword looks like a sword symbol rather than an actual sword. And the hair and the face and, you know, looks more symbolic and flat rather than actual three-dimensional. But, I mean, it's still okay. I've seen this actual painting in real life, and the painting looks pretty cool. Badass. It looks pretty badass, but they made the whole series with this. Some of them are a little better. This one's actually nicer, I think. It's more of a 3D image on here. They got Elric right. He looks right. He looks exactly like he's supposed to look. The sword behind him and everything like that. Then there's this one, which is another one. This is the Sailor on the Seas of Fate. And the thing about Sailor on the Seas of Fate is, this is not like Michael Whelan did Sailor on the Seas of Fate, and he did actual, like, Elric on the boat with the other incarnations of immortality, not incarnations, eternal champions behind him. It looked like Sailor on the Seas of Fate. And this is not really, like, telling of what the story's supposed to be, but still pretty cool. He's got, like, you know, he looks like Elric. He's got the sword. It's not bad. I mean, design-wise, it's really nice, you know? I don't know what the artist set to achieve with this kind of painting, but if he just wanted to make a cool, unusual design that was stylistic rather than realistic, I think he really succeeded. And this is the King of Swords, right? The King of Swords is also the Corum series. A little bit confusing as to what the hell is going on, like, but I think this is Corum facing, like, away from this viewer, like with their back to the person looking at the book. I'm not exactly sure what's happening in this, but there's a lot of different worlds that he goes into. Through his eye, he can see other worlds and stuff like that, so that might be what's going on here. And he's like, in the first book, he walked into other worlds and he met other deities and stuff like that. Still, it's a painting, it's a picture, it's a drawing, it's still nice. It's still better than this one for the Knight of Swords. Come on, man. Guys, whoever published this, no way. Go back to this. This is so much nicer. People are going to buy this one. They're going to buy this one because they're going to like the picture. People buy things because they like the picture. People always like the cover of the book, the illustration. So when you go all the way back, this is even before the other one. This is before this one was this one. And I think this one's really cool. This is a Michael Whelan one, and this is Elric of Nilbene, the first book in the series, and it's really nice. It's got, like, he's holding up the sword, it's 3D, it's well rendered, he's got his dragon helm on. I don't know what's happening in the background, some kind of chaos, which, you know, but that's normal when there's, like, weirdness and chaos happening in the background. That is really nice. I dig this one a lot. Then there's, like, this one. This is a Michael Whelan one. This is the Weird of the White Wolf. The Weird of the White Wolf. Weird of the White Wolf. The Weird of the White Wolf. Okay. And so this is freaking cool. Like, I mean, it's really a clip. You could tell, like, this artist like Michael Whalen, who drew this, like he read the story. He knows what he's drawing. He's drawing an actual scene from the story. Elric stabbing someone and Stormbringer sucking his soul into Stormbringer, like drinking his soul. Really cool looking, man. Like really nice. He's really skinny, like he's supposed to be, white hair. Pretty freaking cool. And the other one, this is the one, the Sailor on the Seas of Fate one I was talking about. Isn't that amazing? And it's exactly a scene from the book. I don't know if it was an actual scene from the book, but there was a ship and he was on this ship with a lot of other people who were kind of like, sort of like taken aback by him a little bit because he is a foreboding character. It's just great. It's a painting, which is just amazing. The actual painting of this is just beautiful. You know, the prints of this is one of the best, I think, Elric paintings ever, and the representation of Elric is just beautiful here. You've got the dragon helm, you've got the sword, everything looks in proportion. He's posed, I mean, it's just exactly what it's supposed to be. This is like what you dream, what you think, like what you imagine Elric to look like. You know, when you read the book, you imagine it kind of Elric to look like that. Some other books here, this is the history of the rune staff. They went and put the whole rune staff. This is Dorian Hawkmoon, the rune staff series. They put the whole rune staff into like a complete book, which is okay. This was actually imported from the UK. If you go to and this is like in UK, it was like £8.99, which is like pretty decent. I mean, that's how much it should cost. And it's just got a bunch of, it's just the entire rune staff series is in this one. Michael Moorcock used to like to, or the publishers anyway, he used to like to write these books pretty quickly, like pretty thin. Like he would write a story about 200 pages, publish the book, they would publish it, and it would be a thin book like this. I really like this kind of series because it's easy to put in your pocket, it's quick to read. You buy one book, then you buy another one. It's just very, very fast. This is like the whole thing. And this is the entire series of the rune staff. And here's the cover for that one. And that's pretty cool. I mean, it's from the story. There were like these ram-headed soldiers, and then there's like other kind of soldiers. There was this, I guess there was all this stuff from the story and stuff like that. I didn't read the whole story yet. I'm just like in a little bit of it. I read like, I don't know, 1/6 of it or 1/5 of it or something, but this is pretty cool. It's nice that it's got like the whole story in one book and you don't have to like buy a bunch of different books for it, but I think this is okay. It's like this red painting, you know. It is a little bit sort of stylized. I'm not sure what scene it is from the book. Maybe it's not exactly a scene from the book, but the helmets are correct. There's some weapons. I mean, it's a medieval fantasy kind of thing. Pretty cool. I don't mind this one at all. I think they could have done a better job with this painting, actually, but it's actually not bad. It's a decent, attractive painting. It's a nice cover for the book. I don't think it's too bad. Here is The Fortress of the Pearl. Pretty good. I mean, like they did Elric's face really, really well. They put his eyes, you know, he's just basically all white. You know, he's albino, his skin is white. His skin is like grayish white. His hair is white, completely white. His eyes are red. His pupils are, his irises are red. The Fortress of the Pearl, great book, by the way. And this is what, they just kind of added to the series. I think they wrote the whole story, and then after the whole Elric series began and ended, they came up with another book from the Elric series where he was actually, you know, in the middle of his adventures and everything like that. And yeah, I mean, it's really nice. It's just his face, but it's a nice portrait of Elric. I don't know who this the model was, but the model looks like Elric. The face looks like skinny, thin, drawn, very, very like melancholy, not really a happy person. He usually like has reasons to be melancholy. He's the eternal champion. He's just, you know, fated to fight and strife and battle, and, you know, it just never has any peace. So, you know, he's an adventurer. Interesting life, but he doesn't really like it too much. Here is I dig this one a lot. This is a Michael Whelan painting, and this is really cool. So this is Elric at the End of Time, which is, it's part Elric story and part a different story, and it's a little bit of a kind of an Elric and a different story crossover, where it's some Elric in it. I haven't read the whole thing. I read some of it, like a couple of chapter or two, and it's weird. It's Elric. He's out of his element. He's not in his own world, and there's other people that are kind of like in the modern world or whatever. It's kind of weird, but this is definitely one of the best paintings. This is one of my favorite paintings of Elric, and it's just him just being completely melancholy, attached to his sword, knowing that the sword, all it gives him is sorrow and strife, but he has to keep it because otherwise, they will abduct people that he loves, and, you know, they will destroy the world, and he can't do anything about it. You know, all of these forces, all of these magicians, wizards, and gods, and these deities will just destroy everything he loves if he doesn't defend it with his sword, with Stormbringer. Even though Stormbringer is evil, like, he's still, you know, he has to use Stormbringer. Otherwise, you know, they will just come after him, and he doesn't have a chance without it, because they are just so powerful. He's got to be as powerful as they are and shit like that. So, beautiful painting there. Here's another one, Revenge of the Rose. I don't know if I read this and couldn't get into it too much, but yeah, another Elric return, you know, Revenge of the Rose, you know. This one is just him behind a bunch of roses, you know, and it's okay. At least it's a painting. I don't know. So let me know, thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know which one is your favorite painting. Like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in another video later.